high call series.
Let's practice. Yes. So here, letter A is used for making three different sounds. Letter A is used for making three different sounds. The first one is called A. Second one is O. Third one is A. Okay? A, O, A are the three sounds. Okay? So in FAR, the sound is fa, because R is silent in that. Okay? R is silent there. So it is pronounced as a fa. Now, BALM. Again, L is silent. So how should say that? Balm. Right? Balm. CARD. Card. Again, R is silent in that. Right? Then LAST. 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 Right? Next, GLASS. 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 MASTER. 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 ARMY. Army. R is silent. Right? Army. TASK. Task. TASK is a task. Right? So, fa, ba, car, last, glass, master, army, task. Right? The second one is letter A is pronounced as O. For example, FALL, it's fall, not a fall. Right? It has to be pronounced as fall, fall. MALL, mall. MALL, mall. SHAWL, shawl, shawl. AUXILIARY, auxiliary, not auxiliary, auxiliary. FLAW, flaw, flaw. CRAWL, crawl, crawl. TALK, talk, not talk, talk. AUTOMOBILE, automobile. Okay? So in all these 8 words, letter A is pronounced as a long O, like fall, mall, shawl, auxiliary, fall, crawl, talk, automobile. Right? Now here, ADJECTIVE, it is known as adjective. Adjective. ARROW, arrow. ARROW, arrow. ADAMANT, adamant. Adamant. AVENUE, avenue. Avenue. ATOM, atom, not atom. Atom. Okay? It's called as atom. ADVOCATE, advocate. Right? Then TAP, tap, tap. CHAT, chat. TAP, tap. CHAT, chat. Right? So in these words, it is pronounced as a. Right? So now I will say these words one by one, and you need to repeat these words after me. Okay? So we will start with the words. Long fa, ba, card, last, glass, master, army, task. Okay, so now we will go with the O words, the long O. Fall, mall, shawl, auxiliary, flaw, crawl, chalk, automobile. Third one is a words, a, like adjective, arrow, adamant, avenue, atom, advocate, tap, chat. Right? Okay. Now, I will keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can go through these words again and again. Right? We need to be very careful with the pronunciation because pronunciation is very important when we use English as a language. Right? So, observe these words and practice it along with the friends. Right? It's a very good thing to do. So the next is let us converse. So we will listen to a conversation in between to a boy and a girl over here. We will listen to that first, and after that, I will give you the wordings, the script of this. Okay, you can practice with somebody at home or your friends in the neighborhood. You can include it as a game, right? We are doing these kinds of conversation with every lesson. Every lesson we have this, isn't it? Yes, we can use it as a game also. Doesn't matter. Or once when the school gets reopened, we can use there also, right? So we will listen to this now. Clear?
Let's converse. Read the following conversation and enact it out with your partner in the class. Chakri. Sita. Did you borrow any book from the school library last week? Yes, I took a collection of stories. Did you like these stories? Well, I liked them, but the story I liked the most was about King Midas. Tell me about it. King Midas was very greedy. He wanted everything that he touched to turn into gold. God granted his wish. So, his food, clothes, and even his daughter turned into gold. Oh, what a pity! It shows that God punished him for his greed. You are right. We should never be greedy.
So now we have listened to this conversation. We need to practice this conversation also, right? So I will give you the wordings of this conversation so that yes, we can practice it ourselves. Okay. After that, let us converse. It's a time for the rhyme time. We have got a very fairy rhyme here, right? So, shall we listen to that first? After listening to that, I will give you the wordings, the script of it, so that you can practice it yourself, sing aloud at home also. Okay?
Rhyme time. Read aloud the following poem and then recite it in a group. While reciting, note the rhyming words used in the poem. I like to read poems and stories, all about witches, dragons, and fairies. The events are always exciting. The palaces and courts are inviting. I roam in my thoughts and wonder, when will I reach the world yonder? My imagination flies with wings. Immense joy, glee, and cheer all this brings.
Okay, so we have listened to that, and now I will give you the wordings of this particular rhyme for you to practice it at home, right? Rhyme time, there are some question answers. Yes, based on your understanding from the above poem, answer the following questions orally, right? So, what attracts the poet the most? What was that attracting the poet the most? Fairy tales with the witches, dragons, and the fairies attracted the poet the most. So, fairy tales which have got the witches as a character, dragons are there just as one what we have seen in the poem, in the basic lesson point, right? Then fairies will be there. That is what the poet likes the most, right? Second question: how does the poet fly without any wings? How does the poet fly without any wings? Answer: the imagination of the poet flies. So the poet was able to fly not because he had any wings or so, but he flew with his wings of imagination. Okay, so he had a he was imagining as if he was flying. Right. Third one. Underline the rhyming words used in the poem. What are the rhyming words that we came across in the poem? Stories, fairies, exciting, inviting, wonder, yonder, wings, brings. So, what are they? Stories, fairies, exciting, inviting, wonder, yonder, wings, brings. Right? They are the rhyming words. So, now we will read these questions once again. What attracts the poet the most? Fairy tales with the witches, the dragons, and the fairies attracted the poet the most. How does the poet fly without having any wings? The imagination of the poet flies. Underline the rhyming words used in the poem: stories, fairies, exciting, inviting, wonder, yonder, wings, brings are the rhyming words, right? So now I will keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can read these questions and their answers once again, right? Okay, now we'll go on to the next question. Fourth one. Which line of the poem do you like the most? Repeat it. So, which is the line that you like the most in the poem? You have to repeat that line. What is that line? Yes. I roam in my thoughts and wonder is the line of the poem that I like the most. I roam in my thoughts and wonder. Okay. So now I will keep this screen also for a minute so that we can have a look at this question and the answers given. Right? Writing skills. Arrange the following passage into the past tense using appropriate form of the verb. Okay. She tells me that when she gets home from school in the afternoon, she has some food and then changes her clothes before doing her homework. She never eats anything in the school bus while returning home. In fact, she never eats or drinks anything in school except during the lunch break. So this is a passage, and so now we need to rewrite this passage by changing the verbs into past tense. So she tells. Tells is a verb, isn't it? And what is the past tense form of tells? She told me that when she gets home from school in the afternoon, she had some food and then changes her clothes before doing her homework. She never ate anything in the school bus while returning home. In fact, she never ate or drink anything in school except during the lunch break. Right? She told me that when she gets is changed into got home from school in the afternoon, she has is changed into had some food and then changes into changed her clothes before doing her homework. She never eats is changed into ate anything in the school bus while returning home. In fact, she never ate or drank. Drink changes into drank anything in school except during the lunch break. Right? So the verbs in the present tense used in this passage are changed into past tense in that. Okay? That's it. So now I'll keep the screen the same for another minute so that you can have a look at that. Okay? Read the passage and observe whether we have changed all the verbs or not in that also. Okay? Write 5 things that you used to do before going to school in the morning when you are in the class and which you do not do now when you are in class 4. Oh. So you need to write 5 things which you used to do last year before you go into the class. Now you are in 4th grade and what do you do now is a question, right? The things I did in the first class and now do not do are, I used to ask my mother to dress me up. B, the second one, I used to ask her to comb my hair. C, I used to ask my father to help me do my homework. D, I used to ask my mother to come to the gate and say me goodbye. Fifth one, I used to ask my father to take me to school every day. So these are 5 things that I used to do when I was a kid last year or before that. Now we are in 4th grade, we are grown up now and we do not ask our parents to do things. What are they? First one, I used to ask my mother to dress me up. I never knew how to put the buttons in the of the shirt or wear trousers or put the socks up or put the shoes. Then I used to ask my mother to help me up. Now I can do it. B, I used to ask her to comb my hair. I never knew how to do it. Now I can do it. C, I used to ask my father to help me do my homework. Always I asked my father to sit along with me and help me to do my homework. Now I do not do that. Only if I have some doubts, I will go to my father. D, I used to ask my mother to come to the gate and say me goodbye. Mother may be in some works, doesn't matter. She should come to the gate and say me goodbye. Only then I used to go to school. Now I'm grown up. I can see mother being busy with some other works. So I simply say her bye and I go. 5. I used to ask my father to take me to school every day. Every day he had to take me to the school. Okay, I never went to school alone. But now I'll go. Right? So these are some of the things that I used to do in class 1 and something that I do not do now. Right? Okay. So now I will keep the screen the same for another minute for you so that you can have a look at this. And you can do this also, like if the same, write the same sentences. If not, if there are some differences in what you used to do then and now, you can write it yourself. Like, to keep the bag properly. Or in grade 1, my mother used to come to the school and to feed me. Now, I eat my own food. Isn't it? Plenty of things can be there. Write the following sentences in proper sequence in the notebook. Okay. The fairy dragon guarded the treasure with all his might. The queen asked the king to attack the dragon and get all the riches for her. The soldiers aimed arrows, spears, and cannons at the fairy dragon mountain. The king set out with all his soldiers towards the dragon mountain to get the riches. In spite of his might and a huge army, the king was defeated. The treasure is for the good of the people to build roads, hospitals, and schools, and not for your family, the dragon shouted. The king made up his mind, and after his crushing defeat, to work for the welfare of the people. The dragon wanted the king to realize his sin. So the queen asked the king to attack the dragon and get all the riches for her, isn't it? That was the first thing happened. Then the king set out with all his soldiers towards the dragon mountain to the riches. The fairy dragon guarded all the treasures with all his might is the third one. Fourth one, the soldiers aimed arrows, spears, and cannons at the fairy dragon mountain. The fourth one. In spite of his might and a huge army, the king was defeated. After the war, that was what happened. But the dragon wanted the king to realize his sin. Okay, so what did he do? Yeah, the treasure is for the good of the people to build the roads, hospitals, and the schools, and not for your family. Who said it? The dragon said. Then what was the result of that? The king made up his mind after his crushing defeat to work for the welfare of the people. Right? So what is the first one? Second. The queen asked. Second one, the king set out to the dragon mountain. Third one, a fairy dragon was guarding the treasure over there. Fourth one, the army started the war. Fifth one, the king's armies were defeated. Sixth one, the dragon wanted the king to learn a lesson. Seventh one, he advised the king in a very serious note to take care of the welfare of the people. Eighth one, he realized his mistake and changed his thoughts. Okay, right. So now I will keep the screen the same for another minute so that we can go through these sentences once and check for the answers. Okay. Homework. Write 5 sentences about what you did and how you spent last Sunday. Last Sunday, I assisted my parents to clean the house. Is one sentence. I did a head bath later after helping my parents. I did a head bath. I took care of the pets. I cleaned their bed and all, gave them a combing and all. I completed the homeworks for the next day. I got the things ready for the next week. Right? So these were the 5 things that I did. If you have done something different, you can write them here. Right? So what did I do? I assisted my parents to clean the house. Then after that, I got a bit dirty, so I went to take a bath and I took a head bath also. Then I spent some time with my pets. I gave them some brushing, combing, grooming and all. I completed the homework which were there for the weekend. Then I got the things ready for the next week. I checked it whether I've got enough uniforms there in the cupboard. Are all the books properly kept? Is the bag in the good condition? I checked all these kinds of things and got ready for the next Monday. Right? So these are the things that I did. If you have done the same, no problem, you can copy the same sentences. And if you have done something different, then you need to write those things over there. Right? project work. Imagine you have found a hidden treasure. Draw and color it to show what are the things in the treasure. Discuss with your partner and make a list of any three ways in which you would use the treasure. Okay. So imagine that you got a treasure, right? And you need to draw the items that you got in the treasure, like huge chains will be there, bangles will be there, rings will be there, gemstones can be there, gold coins can be there. So you need to draw the images of those things and discuss with your friend how you will use this treasure. So first one, I would use the treasure in the following ways. What are they? To establish schools and hospitals, to construct a new school and a hospital in your locality, or to build more projects on the rivers to supply water to the fields. More irrigation projects will be established so that we can have water to the maximum regions in the fields and we can have good cultivation. Right? Okay, next, value corner. So what is a value corner? Something that we have learned so that we will continue that throughout our life is called a value corner. Okay? Something that we have learned and that we will follow throughout our life. So put a tick mark against what you must always do and mark a cross which you should never do to be liked by others. If you want others to like you, what should you do and what you should not do? Speaking rudely and more than what is necessary. If you do like that, will others love you? Will others like you? You won't respect anybody. You won't listen to anybody, but you will be shouting. And you will be talking more, even more than what is required. If you do that, will people love you, like you? No. So what should we do? We will drag into mark there. Second, speaking politely as per the need of the situation. Understand the situation and speak accordingly. Whatever is required, nothing more than that. That is what we should do, isn't it? Yes, then we will drop a tick mark here. Helping others. If you help others, will others love you? Will others like you? Yes, obviously they will love you, isn't it? Yes, so a tick mark here. Then, stealing things. If you try to do that, will others love you? Will others consider you as a good guy or a good girl? No. So we should not do that. So we should try to make others feel as good. Okay? They should think that we are good people and we should have some friendship with us. Okay? It should not be something like that. We hate others and they hate us. That is not good for us. Okay? So that is the value corner that we have learned from this lesson. What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others and the world remains immortal. This is something that we have to learn for us. Okay? If we try to do something like earning more money or building a new house, that remain with us only. When we go, nobody will remember even about us. But if we do something good for others, for example, if we have some money and there is somebody who doesn't have money but they need money. If we give them money and help them, people will consider us as a good people. Right? Then they will remember us forever. Okay? So whatever we do, that dies along with us. But whatever we do for others will be remembered, means will live even much more than others. For example, those things were done by Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi died so many years ago in 1948. Isn't it? Today it is 2020. But still we think about him. Why? Because he had lived a life for others. He was not thinking about, oh, if the British police will beat me, it will pain me. Huh? How will I live in a jail? He was not thinking about such kinds of things. Okay, if they beat me, let them, no problem. But other people, they should live freely. That was what was the thing that was guiding him, isn't it? And that is why he still lives in our memory. He still lives in our memory. So, if we try to make something for us, it won't live long, it will die along with us. If we try to do something for others, that will remain there forever. Okay. So, that is a value corner point for us to learn and to follow in our life. So, that is it from the lesson, The King and the Dragon. And next class, we will meet again with another lesson. So until we meet with a new lesson in the next class, stay home, stay safe, right?